Y'all listening to the Whiskey and Insurance Podcast with your hosts Luke Eckley, Talbot Buford, and Marquand Hughes. In this episode, the boys debunk common health insurance myths, discuss plan options, and taste Select Club whiskey. Take a seat and take a sip. It's whiskey for the soul and insurance for the wallet.
Welcome back.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back. My name is Talbot.
Okay. Now you just ruined it.
We're doing a live podcast event September 10th,
Tuesday night.
Doors
Doors open at 6:30. Live event starts at 7. It is free. Make sure you RSVP. If you need any other information, make sure you DM me at Talbot Buford 1.
Make sure you DM
He was
me
on a
at,
roll. He was on a roll.
No, is it
Minus
Talbot
DM.
Buford or is
Minus
it
DM.
T Buford at Apollo?
Yeah.
I wasn't giving my email.
Oh, okay.
tbuford@apollo-insurance.com is my email if you need that.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are from out of town and you do want to watch the live event,
We will be streaming.
We will be streaming. Probably
IG, Facebook. Both?
IG and TikTok.
Oh, Tickety Talk.
Yeah, Tickety Talk would be cool, but we have to get to 1,000 followers first.
So help us do that.
Help us
Make
do
sure
that.
you
Yeah.
guys help
So
us
that we can do a little live action.
Like,
Yeah, because we want to make sure
Share.
everybody can see it. Because I actually have a couple buddies that want to watch it that are from out of state, so
Cool.
it'd be cool.
We're excited
that'll be
about
fun.
it, as you can
Yeah.
tell.
It's really
Super
cool.
excited.
And if you guys want to sponsor it, let us know. We're open to
We've already got
sponsorships.
several sponsors
We
that
sure
are
do.
sponsoring the event for us,
sure
and
do.
we are asking for more.
Yep.
So it can be the best event yet.
And it is a one-time sponsor. It's not a yearly commitment thing. I got that question a lot. And if you do sponsor, we will have social media presence for you guys. We will be shouting you out. And
On the
depending
pod and at the
of course,
the event.
of course, and just on our social media in general. But
Yeah.
there's different tiers. If you guys choose the higher tier, obviously you get more, appropriation for that. But
Boom.
we'll have a step and repeat as well. We have a step and repeat that you can get your logo on for people to take pictures. So that'd be cool too. So
Boom.
Let's
back
get
into the video.
let's
What are
get
we
into
bringing
it.
them today?
Let's get into it. We're going to talk about health insurance myths.
Wow.
Right?
Little myth action.
A lot of people are misconstrued on what is real and what's not when it comes to health insurance. So there's some fun things that we get all the time as agents, and so that we have to debunk a lot. And so we're just gonna rattle some of them off and explain to you, okay, is this real or not?
Give us
And
two
so,
myths right
Let's see. We got a myth, right? That if you've already had a good health insurance plan, let's say you had a great health insurance plan for 2024, everything worked smooth for you, you didn't have to do anything, everything was okay. Well, come 2025, you shouldn't reshop your plan. You should stay with that plan because that's the best plan for you. Clearly, you didn't have anything happen. It worked out fine. Don't shop your plan. You're gonna miss out on something. Stay where you're at.
False.
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 Yes.
That's
Why
not
is
right.
that false? Why is
Because health insurance is constantly changing.
yeah.
Every year it changes.
every
Rates,
year.
premiums, deductibles, max out of pockets, co-pays, everything changes every single year. New carriers are required to file new plans. So regardless if you're wanting to keep your plan or not, it's always smart to still shop or at a minimum have a broker like Apollo do the shopping for you.
And I will say, even if your plan auto renews, aka it's not like Obamacare and you don't have to renew every year with somebody, your rate can still change. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
You need to always look into that.
I'm on a grandfathered in plan and I do not want to switch.
Hopefully,
Or
like 20%
I should never
increase.
switch.
Hopefully, like 20%
I think that's another
increase.
myth.
It sure is another myth.
Grandfathered and grandmothered. Those are
Yes.
two terms.
Hey,
that,
explain those two.
yeah, that's
explain
a
the
really good
difference.
question. So grandfathered is anything that happened pre-2013. 2013 was the first year of the Affordable Care Act being implemented. It was approved in March 2010. First open enrollment was October 2013. So any plan before 2013, if you've had that same plan and you've renewed it every year, that is considered a grandfathered in plan.
It is a fire plan, though. Most of the time.
Anything that is after 2013 and in between another date, I don't remember exactly. I think I want to say 2017, 2018, that time frame. So 2013 through 2018, that would be considered a grandmothered in plan. So it's after the Affordable Care Act. So it's been implemented after the Affordable Care Act, but it's been before a certain time. Those are considered grandmothered in plans. The problem with these two types of plans that are available out there is the pool shrinks every single year. So when you have a grandfathered in or grandmothered in plan, nobody else can get that plan. You're grandfathered in. You're grandmothered in. So there's no more risk that's going into the pool. So the challenge there is people die off naturally. People get new jobs naturally. People are tired of getting the rate increase every year naturally. So they fall off those grandfathered in and grandmothered in plans. So that pool of people shrinks every single year and no new lives are being added. So one of the things that happens there is that when that pool shrinks, the premiums continue to skyrocket. And eventually, at some point in time, there will only be, 2 plans or 3 plans or 10 plans, which is really risky because your price will be so astronomically high because the insurance carrier doesn't want to continue to carry that plan. So what I always tell people is it's inevitable that plan will either A, go away, or B, become so naturally expensive that you're foolish to stay on. So you better do what I always tell people is you should shop now. And look at other options now, because the older you get, and as you guys know, in the under 65 individual space, which there's another myth out there that pre-existing conditions is covered no matter what issue you have. That's a myth.
You took mine.
Sorry. Which I had to kind of explain that with what I'm talking about.
Fine. I'll just find another one.
So that's a myth. Not all pre-existing conditions are covered in the under 65 space. So when you're on a grandfathered in plan, and you come off, the longer you stay on it, the more risk you have of a potential health issue occurring. When that health issue occurs, now you're shrinking the amount of options you can pivot to. Now you're forced to the ACA, where pre-existing conditions is required by law to be covered.
Yep.
So I know I just gave a lot of information there.
No, but that's good.
That was good.
That's really good.
That's the problem. So shop now while you're healthy. You have more options.
Yeah.
Shop when things are bad and your prices go up and you have a health issue, you have less options and you're forced only to 30% of the market. Yeah. That's the reality.
And to be honest, Luke just spit out a lot of information, but it was really good.
It was really
so
good.
I hope you guys caught it. But it brings me to my next point. You won't know these things, right? It brings us to my next myth. You won't know these things, right, if you don't have an agent. Some people don't have an agent because when they look at health insurance, they say, well, if I get an agent or someone to help me, I'm going to have to pay a consultation fee, or I'm going to have to pay them to help me with these services, right?
Yeah.
That's a myth. You don't have to pay that, or at least for Apollo, right?
I was gonna say,
you don't
there's
have to
some
do
places
that.
that
Someone
you
out there, but for Apollo, us specifically, we don't
Our
charge that.
services are free.
They're 100% free, and we are giving you that educational piece that you need to make the best informed decision for you. And we're going to hold your hand throughout the process. So make sure you get someone that's a good broker for you that can walk you through this thing called health insurance.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. No, that's good. Here's another one because I had to look this up because he took mine. Employer provided coverage is enough. True or false?
False.
False.
Now
why?
Yeah.
I would say now, employer sponsored coverage typically, is it cheaper? Typically, yes.
Because
your
your
employer
is
will pay
covering it.
a portion of it.
They're contributing.
Now, I have seen plenty of employer sponsored plans that are complete crap and they are not good. That is because they're $30 a month and you get a bronze plan. It's not enough.
Yeah.
There's so many things like accident riders. Anything else?
Critical illness policies.
Yeah, cancer, heart attack, and stroke.
Life insurance.
Yes. Hospital indemnities. Anything like that. That's going to enhance your policy and only make it better. There's always things that you can do to build a package that's going to make it better. And yes, most people don't understand. If you have an employer-sponsored plan, you can still reach out to a broker and get those policies, and they will work with an employer-sponsored plan.
It does not require you to purchase an individual health plan. All those policies will work with whatever main health insurance that you have. You could be on a spouse's plan. If you're on your spouse's plan, you could get an individual accident plan. Think things like AFLAC, but there are policies out there. No offense to AFLAC, but there are better policies, better accident plans that are better than what AFLAC offers. But that's essentially what we're talking about. That's supplemental insurance. It supplements. And what I always tell people is it does all the heavy lifting that for your health insurance policy.
Yep.
You got a $5,000 deductible in the event of an accident. Guess what? If you have an accident policy, I've now eliminated your deductible down to $250. That's it. If nobody has shown you how to eliminate your deductible to $250 in the event of an accident, That's what a broker's there to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that works
trust me,
with whatever health insurance.
we all need that right now with the way the economy is going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the average American doesn't have
100%.
$5,000 in their bank account.
Nope.
Yep.
So,
And 48% of people under 30 are living with their parents.
yes, I heard that stat today.
I told you that
Talbot
stat today.
Buford.
That leads me into my next point, my next myth. I am young and healthy, therefore I don't need health insurance.
False.
Myth.
False. It's not if, it's when, people.
There
I'm
you go.
telling you right now. And here's the thing. Whenever you're young and healthy, it's cheap. It is cheaper. And I'm telling you right now, those accident riders that Luke was talking about, they are dirt cheap. And they don't increase in price throughout your lifetime. Once you sign up and you keep it, you will pay that price.
Boom.
And I can promise you that. And if you don't have a policy or a broker that knows that that's how it works or gets you a policy that it's like that, call us. We have those. Trust me. I have them for my family. They're like $12 a month for me. And I'll have it forever.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. That's a really
So-
good one. I think another one, another myth. I mean, we can go all day long with myths, but I think another myth in the health insurance world is that your health insurance plan only covers you for physical medical purposes, right? Which is, yes, it does
It's
that,
a myth.
but it's also,
myth.
I'm sorry, yes, myth. It is a myth. It handles mental issues as well. Yeah, if you need to go to a mental facility or
Physical therapy.
all that stuff, counseling,
Yep.
all of that, it covers.
Yeah.
You just got to get in the right plan. And so don't think just because you just have a major medical health insurance plan that they don't cover the mental aspect of it as well.
Ooh, I got a good
It's
one
really
here,
good.
which is might throw some people for a loop on the camera. Purchasing a health insurance plan online is unsafe.
Is unsafe, meaning it's not safe?
Correct.
I would say
That's you're
See, that's where we get to this point, though. Nowadays, borderline, you can say it is unsafe.
yeah.
Borderline.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
correct.
So you have to find the right spot.
Correct.
Yes.
There's too many other spots where, they'll say let AI choose your plan for you. Well, at the end of the day, AI is still computer programmed. Somebody still programmed AI to answer the questions a certain way and putting you in a product that they taught the computer to do.
Exactly. And if you don't put everything in about your situation, they won't give you the right product. That's why
Or you
talking
could-
to a human.
Yeah, that's why it's important to have a broker. It's important to call and talk to somebody. But what I'll say is you can purchase a plan
course.
online if you want to do all the research yourself
Of course.
and find the right spot to do that.
But
There's no problem doing that,
most of the time, if you don't have the time to do that, which most people
don't in today's world. We're a
Come to
microwave.
us.
We're a microwave society.
Yeah,
we are.
We're free. We do this.
Yeah.
Come to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't ask for much. We just ask you to open up a little bit and have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I think it's important to debunk some of the myths that are out there, especially regarding health insurance. We know that this is one of the biggest, and I say this a lot, line items in a household in America today. So
Line items in a household or
yeah.
business.
Yeah, you're
Period.
right. You're right.
It's one of the largest line items on your P&L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just is.
And so to be able to understand what it really is and how to navigate it is crucial. And so I hope you guys picked up some nice tips and learned something, because that's what it's all about, right? The educational piece of it, making sure you guys are aware of what's going on when it comes to that. And so any questions, concerns, thoughts, comments, please reach out to us.
Of course.
It's a overall, right? What we come back to is having a great broker. That's what we come back to.
really is.
All these things can be avoided if you have a broker by your side that's helping you navigate through this treacherous world of health insurance.
And I promise you, I mean, yes, there are a lot of people out there that are solely sold on Blue Cross or Cigna. But I promise you, if you have the right broker, there are so many other plans that will suit you the same way if you know how to use it.
Yep.
You just have to ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. No question is a stupid question. I'm serious when it comes to health insurance.
I think it just comes down to education.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And how to actually use the plan. I'll tell a quick story and then we'll wrap it up.
Let's go.
But you know, when my dad first was making business decisions back when I was a little guy, and for our family, he said he would ask questions on health insurance and, you know, to a broker, and he would always get, I don't know. And he'd say, well, what happens if my son's playing baseball and he runs and slides into something and breaks his leg or breaks a collarbone or whatever? How much are we going to owe when we go into the ER? The response that he would always get from any broker was, well, I don't know. It depends. And so that would always frustrate him. And he would always say, you know, health insurance would turn me into a 3-year-old emotionally and intellectually. And that's very true for a lot of people because you're dealing with terms of copays and co-insurance and deductibles and max out of pockets and what are all those and how does that work together? And I think it's meant to be confusing by design by insurance carriers.
Absolutely.
But what I go back to is that's why we started Apollo, why he got into it. He actually didn't know he was going on an interview for health insurance until, you know, he got into it. We've talked about residual income. That's why, you know, he wanted to do that. But at the end of the day, he wanted to help people so that they weren't going into the same decision-making process that he was going into, which was frustrating for him. And so a lot of times, and the person that he was trained by, he would ask those same questions to him. The person that trained him said, well, I don't know. So the way that my dad found out was he literally went and took out policies for a month, got the policy information mailed to his address, and then he read through the policy information. So what had it covered? What were the exclusions? What was included? Because back then you had medical underwriting. When he first started the business, there was no pre-existing condition plan that covered all pre-ex. If you had, for instance, if you were battling depression, you took medication for depression, and you had an episode that required you to go see outpatient services or even worse yet, go to inpatient facility, and you had that, if you went to go apply for insurance coverage, it would say, hey, we'll cover you for everything else that would happen to you on health insurance except for anything led to depression. So if they had an inpatient or needed outpatient, that would not be a covered line item when my dad first started selling health insurance. And so he would take out these policies to learn it himself. And a lot of those things, that still rings true to this day. And I think it always comes down to education and how can you be educated or trust a person. I just was having a conversation last week with a guy, and he said, hey, I don't know about this health insurance stuff, man. I need you to take care of it for my business. He's got, 52 employees. He's like, and I don't like reading. I don't take the time to really read anything, but you're my guy. I work with people that I trust. I trust you. I don't even care about shopping anybody else. I trust you. I want to work with my guy. So he was like, I'll get you the data just to make sure that you take care of me. That's all I ask. And I think that that's important. If you don't take the time for it, which is fine because we live in a society that requires so much time of everything to do, find the right person that you can trust.
For sure.
And so that's what I want to leave the audience with. And whether you're an insurance agent, make sure you're that trusted advisor for your clients. If you're a potential client or a consumer like we all are, I'm a consumer of health insurance. Mark over here is a consumer of health insurance. Talbot, you're a consumer of insurance. And we're all consumers. But at the end of the day, you've got to educate yourself, do your research, talk to the right people. And there's a lot of bad people you can talk to, and there's a lot of online things that you could talk to that don't put you in the right position. So you got to be able to ask the right questions. So that's what we'll leave the audience with. I don't know what you guys think.
I love it.
We don't, nothing else.
Mic drop.
Mic drop it.
Cheers.
Until next time.
Until next time. Whiskey for the soul.
Insurance for the wallets.
Oh, wow. Might go down.
This has been the Whiskey and Insurance Podcast, brought to you by Apollo Health Insurance. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Spotify, and be sure to RSVP to our first live podcast event on September 10th.